Good morning, everyone. My name is Nia Whitaker, part of Reading Partners, and I am here to upload another video and share it with you. Our last video was the National Geographic Cats versus Dogs. Today we're going to be doing another informational read, this one called What Are Habitats and Biomes? This one is more science related, natural science. So yes, thank you so much for being with me and having the chance to watch my video, and I look forward to reading with you all. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to read a science book. This one is called Let's Find Out Life Science, What Are Habitats and Biomes by Louise Spilsbury. Habitats and biomes. A habitat is the place where a particular group of plants and animals live. Habitats provide living things with everything they need to survive, such as water, shelter, and food. Habitats can be very small, such as a leaf, or large, such as a forest. Most habitats are smaller than biomes. A biome is a large area with a certain type of climate. Climate is the usual pattern of weather found in a place. For example, deserts have a hot, dry climate. Biomes include oceans, rainforests, grasslands, and deserts. Each biome can include many different habitats. So for example, the Amazon rainforest in South America is a huge biome. Compare and contrast. What are the similarities and differences between biomes and habitats? Adaptations. Different habitats and biomes have different conditions. These include various things, such as how hot or cold it is, whether it is wet or dry, and whether the ground is made up of soil, sand, or rock. The plants and animals living in a habitat have special features that help them live there. These features are called adaptations. Here we have an octopus, and an octopus can change color to help it hide on the ocean floor. Some plants have adaptations that help them live on mountains where it is cold and windy. Others have adaptations to help them live in ponds and lakes. Most birds have wings to fly, but a penguin's wings are adapted for swimming. Most living things have adaptations that help them survive in one or two types of habitat. They would not survive in others. Up here, this mountain plant's leaves do not drop off when they die. They stay on the plant to help it keep warm. Oceans. Oceans and seas cover almost 3/4 of our planet. Few plants live in deep seas. Near the coast, there are plant-like seaweeds. Seawater is salty and salt kills most plants, but seaweed leaves have a thick coating that protects them from the salt. Seaweeds need light to make food. Some seaweeds have leaves that float to the surface to reach the light. Kelp, a kind of seaweed, grows very tall so its leaves can reach the light. Here we have a kelp forest. Ocean animals are adapted to live at sea. Fish have gills that allow them to breathe underwater. Dolphins come to the surface to breathe air. In deep, dark water, dolphins use echolocation to find food. They make clicking noises and then figure out where fish are from the echoes. So echolocation is a way of figuring out where things are by bouncing echoes off of them. Dolphins have flippers to steer as they swim in the oceans. Rivers, ponds, and lakes. Rivers, ponds, and lakes contain fresh water, which is not salty. Like all plants, those that grow in fresh water must reach the light. Plants such as sedges and irises grow by the water's edge. They have stiff stems to hold up their leaves. Lilies have long stems that hold their leaves up to the water's surface. A water lily's flat, rounded leaves float like rafts. Think about it. River water can move quickly. How might this explain why some river plants have long, thin leaves? Pond skaters are so light they can move across the water's surface to catch tiny insects to eat. Some animals live in water their whole lives. Fish swim by moving their tails and fins. They eat underwater plants and other animals. Other animals live by water and visit it to feed. Otters have webbed feet to help them swim to find food. Kingfishers are birds that dive underwater to catch fish in their beaks. Wetlands. Wetlands are areas of land that are very wet for most of the time. Swamps and marshes are wetlands. Plants that grow in wetlands have many roots to anchor themselves in the soggy ground. Rice can grow only if its roots are in marshy ground. So farmers build walls to hold water in rice fields. Compare and contrast. How are swamp cypress tree roots and lily roots the same? How are they different? A swamp cypress has many roots that can trap mud so the tree can stand up. Mud skippers use their front fins to walk across mud when the water dries up. Wetlands sometimes dry up. Mud skippers have developed special features to cope with this. Like all other fishes, they have gills so they can breathe underwater. However, when the water dries up, their gills can carry a supply of air. This allows mud skippers to breathe on land. Woodlands. Woodlands grow in places with warm, wet springs and summers and cold, dry falls and winters. The maple, oak, and beech trees that grow in woodlands are deciduous. They change with the seasons. In fall, they lose their leaves. This stops the cold from damaging them. The trees rest in winter and grow new leaves in spring. Deciduous trees lose all their wide, flat leaves in the fall. Leaves on deciduous trees also change color before they drop. Woodpeckers break holes in tree bark to feed on wood-eating beetles. Woodland trees provide food and shelter for many animals. Worms and beetles eat rotting leaves on the woodland floor. Badgers dig homes between the tree roots. They come out at night to eat worms and slugs. Mice nibble seeds and berries that fall from trees. Birds make nests in the trees and eat berries and insects that live in the bark and branches. So we are actually going to stop here for now. I'm going to bookmark this page and we can pick it up in the next video. So thank you so much for sharing this read aloud with me, and I hope to see you all again next time. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my read aloud video. The other day we left off on this page, Conifer Forests, in the book, What Are Habitats and Biomes? So let us continue. Forests of conifer trees grow in places with long, cold winters. Conifer trees have dark green leaves that are long and thin like needles. Pine, spruce, and fir are conifer trees. Conifer trees have leaves all year round, so they are also called evergreen. Conifer leaves are covered with a thin layer of wax that protects them from the cold. Compare and contrast. How are the trees in conifer forests the same as deciduous trees? How are they different? Some animals are adapted to live in conifer forests. Pine sawflies lay their eggs inside pine needles. The young that hatch eat the leaves. Ants make nests from piles of old pine needles. The lynx has a thick fur coat to keep it warm while it hunts rabbits. Lynx have furry feet to stop them from slipping in the snow. They spread out their toes, which act like snowshoes to help them walk in soft snow. Rainforests. Rainforests grow where it rains almost every day. These are ideal conditions for plants to grow, so trees here can be very tall. Because of their moist climate, rainforests support more kinds of life than any other habitat. Rainforest trees have wide roots that grow partly above the ground. Think about it. How do you think a rainforest tree's big roots help to hold it up? There are thousands of different animals in the rainforest. Tree frogs drink from pools of rainwater that collect in giant leaves. Monkeys have long arms and fingers. These help the animals grip branches so they can move easily through the trees to find fruit to eat. Birds, such as the colorful toucan, have big, hard beaks. They use their beaks to crack open and eat rainforest nuts. Spider monkeys have very long arms and a tail for swinging through trees. Deserts. When people think of a desert, they usually think of a sandy, hot, and dry place. But there are other kinds of deserts as well. A desert is any large region that gets very little rain each year. These are difficult habitats for plants to live in. Cactus plants have a thick stem that store water when it does rain. Desert grasses have very long roots which spread out below the surface to help them absorb the small amount of water that is available. Cactus stems have spikes to stop desert animals from drinking the water inside them. Think about it. Why do you think many desert animals come out only at night to eat? Scorpions eat spiders, mice, and lizards. They crush their prey with their claws or sting them with their tails. Many desert animals never drink. Instead, they get the water they need from plants or plant seeds that contain a lot of water. Gerbils eat seeds and they live under rocks or burrow under sand. Fennec foxes live underground too and come out at night to feed. Grasslands. Grasslands are places where the weather is too dry and the soil too poor for many different types of plants to grow. The land is covered mainly in grasses. Tropical grasslands grow close to the equator. Temperate grasslands grow in regions farther from the equator. Grasses are tough plants. Their roots lie just below the surface so they can catch any rain that falls. Their leaves grow back very quickly if animals eat them. American grasslands are known as prairies. Tropical grasslands are often called savannas. Emus have long, powerful legs. They use them to run quickly across open spaces to escape predators. Many grassland animals feed on the grass. Prairie dogs eat grass and then scurry into underground holes to escape eagles. Grazing animals such as zebras and antelope live in groups called herds. They are hunted by lions and cheetahs. Think about it. Why do grazing animals live in herds? How could this help them to spot predators? Scrublands. Scrublands are hot and dry in summer, but cool and wet in winter. Small trees and bushy plants with woody stems such as rosemary and lavender grow here. These plants also have tough, leathery leaves that hold a lot of water. Some plants also have thorns or strong-smelling oils to stop animals from eating them. Many scrubland plants grow and flower after it rains in spring. Think about it. Why do you think some scrubland plants are adapted to grow back very quickly after fires? Jackrabbits keep cool by losing body heat from their huge ears. Rodents, such as voles and insects, feed on the seeds and berries of scrubland plants. The animals hide in the low-growing plants as they look for food. Jackrabbits eat mostly grasses. They have furry feet to protect them from the hot ground. Birds, such as crows, fly over scrubland searching for rodents and rabbits to eat. Tundra. Tundra is land near the Arctic that is covered in ice and snow during winter. In areas of tundra, it is warmer during the short summers, but even then, the soil stays frozen. Some plants live on tundra by growing quickly in summer and dying during winter. Most plants grow low to the ground to avoid the harsh cold wind. Many animals come to eat the plants in summer but leave again before winter. In the tundra, most plants grow during the summer season. Polar bears have white fur to camouflage them against snow and ice. And to camouflage is to blend in or hide against the surroundings. Some animals live in the tundra all year. Polar bears dive into icy Arctic seas to catch seals. They have thick fur and a layer of blubber to keep them warm. Arctic foxes often eat a polar bear's leftovers. In winter, their brown coat turns white to camouflage them so they can hunt more easily in the snow. Under threat. The main threat to habitats and biomes comes from people. For example, people drain wetlands and dig up grasslands to make space for towns, factories, and airports. Pollution damages habitats too. Rivers become polluted when factory waste or oil runs into them. When animals lose their homes, they have nowhere to live or have young and no food to eat. People clear forests for farming and building. This activity destroys the animals' habitats. Compare and contrast. What are the similarities and differences between the habitats and biomes you have read about in this book? Some people help habitats and biomes in different ways. They make laws to stop pollution. They plant new trees. In some places, people develop nature preserves or national parks. These special areas of land are protected by law so that no one can change or harm them. You can help by clearing litter off habitats like this beach. And that was the end of our book. We have the glossary here. The Arctic, the region around the North Pole. Climate, the usual pattern of weather in a place. Conditions, the environment surrounding something. Conifer, a tree with needle-like leaves. Conifers have leaves all year round. Equator, the imaginary circle around Earth, equally distant from the North Pole and the South Pole. Fins, thin, flat parts that stick out from the body of a fish that are used in swimming. Flippers, the flat parts on the sides of some animals, such as dolphins, that are used in swimming. Gills, body parts that are used to breathe underwater. Grazing, feeding on growing grass or herbs. Herds, groups of grazing animals such as zebra or antelope. Insects, small animals such as flies, ants, or beetles. Prairies, grasslands in North America. Predators, animals that hunt other animals for food. Prey, an animal hunted for food. Rodents, small animals with sharp front teeth. Rats and mice are rodents. Roots, the parts of a plant that grow into the soil. Seeds, the part of a plant made by flowers that can grow into new plants. Shelter, somewhere to stay or live that protects animals or plants from bad weather and danger. Stems, the parts of plants that hold up leaves and flowers. And finally, we have webbed, having skin that stretches between fingers and toes. So we've come to the end of the book today. Thank you so much for staying with me, and I hope to see you all in the next video.